to all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps on this side of the veil, welcome. This is Shawn Whittington's Paranormal Ministry Live 2.0. I'm your host, Reverend Deacon Shawn Whittington with the United States Old Catholic Church, and I'm coming to you live from my haunted house, my very haunted house, where I live. Got a great show today, and you all already knew that. That's why you tuned in. And I know that no one tunes in for me anyhow. Everybody tunes in for my guest. And this is her first time on the show, my first time meeting her. So I'm so excited. She's in the green room waiting. But real quick, let me go over a few things with you guys. Um, Anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work is at our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. And if you go there to visit, keep in mind that my wife and I don't charge for our ministry work, helping people with their paranormal issues. So if you go there to visit, a lot of cool things to see. But while you're there, trust me, brothers and sisters, I know that times are tough. But if you notice the donate button and you're able to do so, click on it and send my ministry in a small donation. I promise you it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. And trust me, we'll put it to good use. Everything's there. My books, God, Ghost, and the Paranormal Ministry, and God, Ghost, and the Paranormal Ministry 2 are there. If you get them off of the website, they come autographed and enclosed in a beautiful house blessing kit, or you can get them a little less expensive off of Amazon. But if you get them off of the website and you haven't done your good deed for the day yet, well, there you go, because part of the proceeds of every sale of every copy of my books goes to support stjude.org, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, Nevada, and the ASPCA. So it's a no-brainer. You get to help some of the neediest children on the planet and the animals too. How cool is that? My course is on the website that you can enroll in. I offer a 12-week online college level course, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare. I'm the instructor, and you can enroll in the course there. This is the perfect course for all you true warriors for Christ out there that feel a calling and a longing to want to learn how to draw your line in the sand, make a stand, circle the wagons, and put up a good fight, the fight of your life, possibly, against true evil if it ever comes calling. This is the course for you. Hey, brother.
Hey, guess what? The show has been saved.
Okay, the show's been saved. I okay. I'm not sure what that meant, but probably everybody's here, my guest and my co-host, and everything's. We were having some technical difficulties. Maybe he's straightened all that out. So anyway, my course is there.
Of course, it's your co host.
Okay,
Technical difficulties. I would have just shut the show down.
there you go. There you go. See what I have to put up with, guys. Um, so what else do I want to say to you guys? So anyway, it's all there. You can enroll in the course there. If you want to have more information about the course before making that type of commitment, just there's a Shawn Whittington's Introduction to Spiritual Warfare course Facebook page. You can go there and read about the course and all that sort of stuff. All my students that graduate get a stunning diploma, certificate of completion suited for framing, along with some other very special blessed items that you can only get from yours truly. Okay, I'm gonna bring on another very special person in my life. I've known her forever, and she was gracious enough to accept my offer to be my permanent co-host on Fridays this year. So this is the first of many more Fridays to come that you're going to see her with me here on Fridays. She is my publisher. She's the owner of Stellium Publications, Stellium Books. Please welcome to the show the one and only Annette Munich.
Hello, I'm so sorry. I restarted my laptop and it wouldn't reconnect to the internet, but we got it figured out, and I like slid in just like, just as the door was coming down. Just here I am.
There you
You know,
go.
he's never called me special. Well, he has, but not in that way.
Well, Zach, you're very special, and we appreciate you, and you
He
do a
is very
great job.
special.
And
Tell you what, you know
he
why I
has a
don't.
nice personality, and
I'm gonna up the game here. I love Zach. So there you go. It's beyond just calling him special. So there you go. And you've never heard him say that about me, but I love you, Zach. There you go. And I love you, Annette.
Oh, sorry.
How are you, Annette? You look very pretty today.
thank you so much. I'm doing good. Um, things are going good. I got a little, worried about getting on, but
You
I
know
don't
what's
know why.
uh, I talked with our guest, a little bit in the green room before we went live, and she's got a very popular show too. And she's had this issue where when the producer sends me the link, I forward it to everybody. I forward it to my guest. I forward it to you. In the last couple of weeks, I can't forward the link to you to save my life, and nobody knows what the issue is. And she's had that same problem. So it's just weird. I just think the internet's been going through some wonky stuff lately, and it is what it is. But
Well, next week I'll reboot my computer about an hour before in case it's going to take some time. So we'll just file this under live and learn.
very cool. And before we bring out our very special guests, is any special announcement or anything you'd like to tell people about yourself or talk about before we do that?
Well, we've got Kelly Schaefer's book coming up in February,
Yep,
and that's Paranormal Pages, and that's going to be really good. And that's a collection of her different stories and experiences, kind of written the same kind of format that you did. And so that'll be really nice. And so that's the next project coming up. And then she'll come back on in April and we'll get a chance to talk about it then. But it's really nice. Really good book. I'm
very
enjoying it.
cool. I'm glad I hooked you two up together. I knew you guys would hit it off, and I knew she needed to get her project out there. And I received this recently from Ira.
Oh, yes. Isn't that
Beautiful
beautiful?
book. It's beautiful. She wrote a very nice thing to me in here, and so um, I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to read it. But Ira's book is out too, and it's just such a nice looking book. You did a great job on that.
Thank you. We kept it simple and wanted it to be very graceful looking and, you know, um, just the focus mostly on the painting. And so it turned out looking very nice.
Okay, well, it's that time. I'm glad you're here to meet her too. It's my first time meeting her, and I've just heard great things about her. And I know the show's gonna rock. She's a medium. She's an abductee, a contactee, an experiencer. She's got a very popular show on YouTube, and she's an artist. She's just really, really cool. And I'm so happy to have her here today. Let's please give her a big, warm Paranormal Ministry family welcome to the one and only Lala Bright.
Hi, thank you so much.
What are you doing?
Hi. Hi, Lala. So nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
She's got some snow on the ground. What part of the country are you in?
I'm in Maryland, Harford County, and actually, it's snowing even more now. We've got
Wow.
about 6 inches right now, so we're in the house. I doubled up on groceries, so my son's happy. He's off school. He doesn't care.
Very
Right,
cool.
exactly. Nothing
Very,
as
very
good as
cool.
a snow day.
Mm-hmm.
And you too, Annette. You are in that part of the country that's got hit by the blizzard too, right?
Well, kind of, because right now I'm in Oklahoma, and
Oh,
we
that's right.
actually had snow on the ground here, and we had some really, really frigid days. But usually down here, it doesn't last very long. A couple of days, and it starts to melt off. So, but we did get snow all the way down into Texas. They got snow. So,
Yeah, we didn't get snow. Usually, we get snow every year, And we didn't get any snow last year, which was strange. So I guess it's catching up this time. So
Well, Lala, I got to cheat a little bit today on this show, and every time I do a show now, probably the last year of doing this show, every time I start promoting who the guest is going to be that week, fans and followers of that person start sending me in questions in the private chat or in my, like I say, my private messages on in Messenger on
mhm.
Facebook. So I wrote down a half a dozen questions from your fans and followers that I think hopefully you haven't been asked those 1,000 times before. But let me start with this. It's pretty new. I still think I'm within that time frame where I can ask people how their Christmas and New Year's was, and if you have made any resolutions.
It was very nice. My little boy, he's 14. He wanted an acoustic guitar because he's learning in school, so I got him that. And we've actually been going to the gym a lot. We have a gym at the clubhouse. We never used it for a year, and so that's our resolution to get healthy, lose weight, eat healthier. So I've been cooking at home more, and it's nice. He is a good cook, actually. Well, he makes the best chocolate chip cookies, but that's a cheat day. So it was a nice holiday. It was. How was
Very,
yours?
very, very quiet. I always do the, friends of mine that are in the clergy always uh, get on me about this because they don't think you should be superstitious, and I'm really not. But it's just something I've done for years and years, where I have this little routine um, that I do every right at the stroke of midnight. I open the front door and you leave it open for a few minutes,
Hmm.
and this is all old Irish Celtic traditions and some Cuban, some Spanish tradition. But you let the old year out and you let the new year in, and
Hmm.
then it's you grab your luggage and you walk around the house carrying your luggage, which will help you stay on the move and maybe do some traveling, which is all tied around to prosperity.
Oh,
Then
okay.
you mop the floor, your kitchen floor, with ice, throw the ice out, and then you have 12, eat 12 grapes and open a bottle of champagne. And my wife and I don't drink, but it's the one night a year where we crack the bottle of champagne, and she has a glass, and then usually goes to bed because we've watched the stroke of midnight and the fireworks show here in Vegas on TV, and then it's way past her bedtime, so she's gone. But then she leaves me with this whole bottle of champagne to finish. But that's just the whole weird thing about it. Many years ago, I used to be a raging alcoholic, and now it doesn't affect me at all, and I have no desire to drink. But that's just kind of a tradition that I do on that night, and it is what it is. And I know Annette's Annette can be a weirdo too. Do you do anything weird on New Year's Eve?
I'll never remember all of that. Open the door, get a suitcase, get some grapes, get some champagne, mop the floor with ice cubes. No, I'll never make it through that, I'm sure. I know I had a quiet New Year's, actually. I stayed up. I like to stay up, and I actually hung out with Ira, and we were
Oh,
both
cool.
eating chips and dip and stuff and laughing on the phone and just goofing around for a while and sort of talking about projects. And so that was nice. It was nice.
Very, very cool. And it's funny you bring up chocolate chip cookies. One of my favorites, Lala, and I just got handed a new recipe for a chocolate chip cookie, which I told Sharon the next uh, big event that we want to celebrate, um, which will probably be my ordination to the priesthood. I said you've got to cook these, and then you don't have to cook them anymore. But it's a traditional chocolate chip cookie. But in addition to the chocolate chips in there, there's chunks of marshmallow and chunks of graham cracker in the dough.
Oh.
Oh,
And I heard that they're delicious.
that would be good.
Yeah, that sounds rocking. So, yeah, the next anything that we are going to celebrate, I'm going to. And Sharon's a good cook and a baker, so I'm going to talk her
Okay.
into doing a batch of those. But so I have to ask you, you're a medium.
Mhm.
I know many of them. I know many psychic mediums. I'm not going to call anybody out. Many of them I I still love them to death, but I suspect they're not as gifted as they claim.
Right.
Some
Yeah.
that I think are truly gifted. Some that, in my honest opinion, the ones that I think are truly gifted, God, in my opinion, God created us all, and it's a gift that He gave
Mhm.
you. Um, Talk to me about your awakening to this, when you realized you had that gift and how that came about.
I was 5, almost 6, and my neighbor that I called Grandma Cheyenne had passed away. She was a wonderful lady, the best gardener. Um, we didn't go to the funeral, but later on we went to go find her gravesite. And in Baltimore, this gravesite has over 1,000 graves. It's very, very large. So my mom and dad went off a little bit to go look, and I just wandered around, and I heard her in my ear say, "I'm over here," and I kind of felt led gently. And I put my hand on her grave. I said, "She's right here, Mom and Dad." And they looked at each other, and my dad, he was psychic, but he did more of a Reiki healing of the hands. But he said, "Okay, it's time to talk to her about it." And that's how it started, really. It was gentle here and there, it wasn't overwhelming. When I became a teenager, it became a little overwhelming, I think, with hormones and whatever else. Um, but I've learned that I can tell them, "I don't like seeing you. It scares me. Please show me pictures." And so I'll decode pictures now, almost like looking through a family photo book. And that's how I read people.
That's very, very cool. I talked to some people who, they're very gifted. They're not sure where, exactly how this gift is being, for lack of a better term, funneled towards them. And then some people refer to it as just source. They get this gift from source, if
Mm.
they don't want to call it God. Or who do you think? Where do you think this is coming from?
I think God, absolutely. Yeah. I think everybody can do it. It's like everybody can cook, but only some people are chefs. Is that bad? I don't know. You know what I mean? Some people
Yeah.
can hone in on it more, even if they don't want to, it just happens. It's kind of like just getting a feeling about something, which is natural for everybody, right? But I do think God gave us the gift. Um, I don't know. I know it's to help people heal their hearts so they don't hurt, but I didn't know that for a long time. So.
Well, she hopefully she doesn't, get mad at me for bringing this up. I suspect Annette is very gifted, because I know that she's had experienced a lot of, especially with editing, and publishing paranormal books, which she's done for many, many years. I know that she has had her fair share of experiences in her office while she's doing this. Um, if she explained some of her, experiences to you, would you be able to detect if she's got psychic gifts, and if so, on what level those may be?
Yeah, but also my main gift is I read people's eyes. So if I can see your eyes clearly, one side shows your inner self that you hide or that you don't even know, and then the outer self, the other eye is your outer self that you show others. And that's how I really connect. I'm getting better. I don't always need it so much now because I'm getting more used to reading more people. But yeah, I can look at her and do that. Yeah.
Well, there she goes.
And yes, you are.
Well, it's all very kind of interesting, and it started with me when I was young,
Mhm.
but I don't do it all the time, and I don't really like it. And
Right.
sometimes I sense things, and I'll actually say, "Don't, scare everybody. I'll pray for you." I'm like trying to back away from it because I don't want to really live that life. So usually when I do have something going on anymore, it's either I stumbled into an active area or I'm working on a book and I kind of become incorporated into that.
Mhm.
And I have some really interesting and really scary stories from that. I think in some cases there's spirits that don't like the books to go out. Uh,
Sure. Yeah.
yeah. And in one case, I don't want to get really lengthy, but there was a case that really broke my heart because I was publishing a book, and the book was about a little girl.
Mm.
And I got the book because I was doing a republish of it. We were doing a revised edition. I hadn't even opened it yet, and I had a knock on my door like halfway up. I opened the door and I didn't see anyone,
Wow.
and no one could have gone that fast. But what ended up happening was that little girl was in the house and she liked to be in the bathroom. I had granddaughters and she liked all the hair pretties and the stuff in the bathroom. And I was praying for her every night. And I just asked her, don't scare anybody.
Yeah.
You know, what happened to her was really sad. Um, and that was about maybe 8 years ago now, but different things like that. I have had someone say to me that it's because the other side knows that I'm likely to be able to see them or hear them.
Yeah.
So you become the person that they will try to show themselves to.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of a lot of years of that. But my first experience, I was a teenager. But this show isn't about me, it's about you.
But yes, they are drawn to certain people. It's like your light's a little brighter, and they know they can come to you because they'll be seen. That's
Mhm,
normal. Yeah.
mhm.
What do you think's going on in my house? Do you think it's because of what my wife and I do? Or do you think this house had issues before we moved in?
Uh,
That's the big mystery here.
you definitely have something, house or land, but absolutely you do draw energies to you because of what you do, which is normal. I don't feel anything bad at all in your house. I just feel that they watch you. Do you feel watched at your house ever?
Um, I think I think there's two different types. I think because probably on a weekly basis, sometimes twice a week, I do a smudging and a cleansing and a
Good.
blessing
Yeah.
of my home, and sometimes just on the immediate outskirts of my property.
Hmm.
I think that there's things lurking, whether they're elementals or worse, lurking out there in the property, watching. In the home, I think it's visitations. I don't think there's anything
Hmm.
attached here, but I do think there's a lot of spirits in visitation coming and going for whatever reason.
It's good. Yeah. You're the
Yeah.
helper. You help everybody when they need it the most. So,
You expect any? Do you think your gift is something that was passed down through lineage, through bloodline? Did you have anybody like a mother, or you talked about your grandmother that looking back now, suspect they were gifted? And
mhm.
if so, do you think you've handed that down to any of your children?
Yes. Well, I know it's a conspiracy, but I am O negative. My parents were O negative. I think that has something to do with it. You don't really know too much information. You can't get information on O negative bloodlines. But when you do Google it, it's always something like, oh, you're an alien or a fallen angel. I don't know. It's weird. But I think that has something to do with our psychic abilities a little bit. I know my dad was very psychic. He loved healing people and helping. Um, my mom pushed it away. She didn't like it. She had a master's in psychology, so she didn't like any of that stuff. But towards the end of her life, she would let it flow. And she would see energy beings, even animals that had passed. She'd see if I had like a pimple on my face. She lived in Florida. She called me, do you have a pimple on your face? 'Cause I'm like, yeah, why?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think both my parents really did. I do know my son does have it. He has dreams. I remember when he was really little, he had a dream. He woke up screaming because he saw a snake trying to get him. And where we lived, we didn't have any snakes in the yard ever. And that day we were in the yard and this very like 6 foot long, oddly weird snake went past him and he ran up to me. And so I knew that he could. My dad welcomed it. I was picked on a lot for what I am, and I'm very shy. So that kind of, I don't want that to happen to my son. So I'm very light-handed on what I tell him. If he's not ready, I drop it. He's starting now to think it's cool, you know. Um, and he'll ask me like, "Can you read this person? Read their eyes." So that's new, but I'm glad he's coming around to it because eventually he's going to have to, because it can cause depression if you ignore it, in my opinion. Yeah.
I've had a little bit of that with my kids, of seeing things, and also that I can have like a song stuck in my head and someone will start humming it and things like that, where they're picking up ambient energy or whatever, and also some ghost experiences and things like that. But I wanted to say something about I noticed that back in the day when I had my own show, a lot of people that were from the ghost community were also people having UFO experiences, and they felt like they had to choose one or else everybody for sure would think that they're just nuts. But
Right.
it was so many. There were a lot of people. And then I talked to someone, and she said that if you're a little bit sensitive, then you're likely to experience a whole plethora of different kinds of things. But I
Mhm.
do remember that because people would be like, oh, yeah, I've seen UFOs, but I don't want to talk about that. Or people, it's like you had to choose. If you wanted to be a UFO person, then it was don't talk about ghosts because
Yeah.
then you'll lose all of your believability. But you're a person that you started out young having experiences and then you ended up actually being an abductee.
Yeah.
And so maybe you could tell us a little bit about that. And also, do you think that there is a correlation that sensitive people tend to experience a lot of different kinds of things?
I do believe that. Yeah. I think they're more open and aware. Um, Maybe we can see a little more around us that's always there, but some people just can't see it. That might be it.
Mhm.
With that part, even when I was like before 5, I would always have dreams of me in my backyard at night, and these UFOs would fly over me. I didn't know what UFOs were until a couple years later when my dad watched a movie about it. And I said, I know what they are. I dream about them all the time.
Mhm.
And I honestly it didn't click that these were aliens or energy beings, whatever you want to call them. I thought they were different type of spirit because I never really looked into it, you know. I just know that whenever I would have an abduction or I would see a craft, I would be completely numb, and I call it alien Xanax because sorry, but because I would have freaked out, but instead I would just watch it and be still, and I don't remember driving home or whatever happened the rest of the night. I think my dad and I we shared an experience once. Um, they had retired to Florida. I went there to visit, and I was helping my dad take the trash out at night. And I looked up. I had a funny feeling. I looked up over their roof, and 5 really large orange orbs appeared one at a time and went to a V. And I said, "Dad, do you see that?" And he looked right at them, and he robotically said no, turned robotically, and went to the house and didn't come out, which was weird because we were best friends. He would have stayed and helped me, you know. And I looked back up at them, and they one by one went away. And then I don't remember the trash. I don't remember going to the house, and we never spoke about it. That's what was weird. So I think they do something to people where they don't talk about it or they don't research it. Um, I know I do have an implant in my left leg up by like the pocket area. I found out by accident. I was seeing a guy in Florida 20 some years ago, and I kept setting off the metal detector. And after a while, I was just like, yeah, it was weird. I was like, can I see what you're looking at? Because I don't have anything in my pocket, you know? And at that time, you could see the detail of what was in you. And it's the size of a piece of rice. And it's still there. I went to Vegas a couple months ago. It's still there. I said to my boyfriend, I was like, watch this. Because he's ex-CIA, so he's into all this stuff. I think I've had that implant for most of my life. I really do. I don't know why. There's no scars there. I never fell there. Can I say one more craft story? Is that
Oh,
okay?
for
Yes,
sure.
please do. Yeah.
Okay. I was getting coffee with my best friend Michelle at Dunkin' Donuts, and we were parked, and we kept seeing these little fireballs kind of go over the car, and I'm like, we need to get out of here. I don't feel like dying today. So we get on the road, and all of a sudden it's nighttime, and we see this huge fluffy cloud, and a black helicopter comes up and shines a spotlight on the cloud. And then I could see what was in it partially. I saw the underbelly of this huge craft. I mean, it was like football field big. And I remember the detail was, it looked like big pipes that were intertwined with each other, but the pipes were as wide as the body of the helicopter. And I drove under it, and I remember driving under it, and I know I didn't see sky anymore. I just saw the craft. That's how big it was. And then I don't remember taking her home. She doesn't remember. It was, I'll never forget the detail of this thing. It was amazing, but I don't know what happened after that. And that's it. What's eerie is that obviously the government didn't know they were there because they were checking it out. And the fact that the craft didn't run away, it just stayed. And that's what's weird, in my opinion.
I've had now 4 UFO experiences here in Oklahoma.
Wow.
And the first one was about 10 years ago. And we were driving along the highway, and there were 2 of them. And they're off to the side, and they're like following along the highway to the side. And then all of a sudden, one of them went right above the highway, and we had to drive underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was scary. It was like triangular, and it had on the bottom lights that flashed white, red, white, red.
Wow.
And the other one veered off, and then that one went right away, and it took off. And since I've been here, I've seen 3. I heard that there's a lot in Oklahoma, but I just watched them. 2 of them, they were there for the longest time, just out there hanging in the sky, not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't seem like, I don't know what they were doing or what they were trying to do. They're just there. And I'd come in, tell everybody, and come out, and we'll just go look at it till we go to bed. I mean, it's just there. And when I say UFO, I'm not saying, oh, for sure it's aliens or something. I'm saying I
Sure.
don't know what that is.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not moving. It's just there. It's not a star.
Right.
It's blinking different colors, and sometimes they go around in a circle a little bit even.
Mm-hmm.
But I got video of one of them.
Okay. Did you put it on Facebook or anything?
No, I just keep it and show people privately. But
Okay.
I'm to the point where I think that people that don't believe in UFOs and all of that, they just don't want to. There's so much out there as far as evidence and stories,
And fear will make you not want to believe, which is normal,
Well, right, because it turns over their little apple cart of a world.
Yeah.
They don't want to deal with it, but that's okay. I mean, I'm not trying to convince anybody, but I'll take a video. I'll sit and watch it for a while.
My boyfriend and I, we take videos. We've been living together a little over a year now, and he's the tech guy. And I tell you what, we've gotten some really cool things. There was one where we have a camera out back. It's really heavy, and an orb flew down. A mist appeared, and it looked like the shape of a human, but it was light. It moved the camera, and then it became an orb and flew off. and it went to my neighbor's roof, right? We got this on film. They then, days later, started to light up my neighbor's roof. They still do it. It's like a crawling light. It's crazy. I like it, but I mean, I like it because it's helped me. One, I don't think there's always that party that thinks you're crazy because you can't. I didn't have cameras when I was growing up to see what, I mean, everything. But also, a couple years ago, I lost my parents and my son's father. And so these beings started coming around more, and it helped me with grieving. It preoccupied my thoughts, honestly. And I'm very thankful. If I would get nervous about it, they'd go away and come back when I was ready again. So and that's why I got back into doing readings, because when my family passed, I didn't have anybody to go to really. And so I was like, well, then I need to step up and stop being scared of what I do and try to help people heal somehow. So that's how it's been a year since I started doing this. So publicly.
So you don't remember your experience of being abducted. What you know about it is that you have an implant in your body.
Right. The only time I woke up during something, my boyfriend thinks it's reptilians do inappropriate things with people, and I woke up during that one time. Nobody was in the house. It was very real. I felt everything, but I couldn't see anybody. Some people call it incubus. Some people call it reptilians. That's the only time I had a real one-on-one experience like that. Most of the times it feels like a dream. They mask things for you, or you just completely black out after you see the craft. That's usually what happens.
You probably didn't expect this question, but I gotta ask because of your boyfriend having been former CIA.
Uh-huh.
There's an old adage in the ufology community, and many of them say if you've seen a UFO, you've been on it. And theories are all over the place. I interviewed a guy in Canada once who is an abductee, and he said the first thing the aliens asked him was, "Have you seen God yet?"
Wow.
And then there's theories. I'm on the fence with all the theories. There's theories that they're just extremely advanced versions of us.
I've
And
heard.
we're like the cave people still. And so they're all over the place. But I'm going to ask you this. I get a lot of questions about, um, now all of a sudden it seems like we know that the government knows a lot more than they're letting us know, but they're feeding us little bits to see how we're going to handle it without just laying it in our laps, what's happening. Do you talk much with your boyfriend about what he really believes is going on, and if there's ever going to be full disclosure? And then I'm going to ask you some questions about some of these violent um, encounters that people have reached out to me about, that they're not sure if it's aliens or demonic or some other type of interdimensional being. So what do you think?
I know that he never used to believe in any of this. And then he went to his friend's house, Chris Bledsoe, who sees regularly these types of things. And so Bob, my boyfriend, he went home and he had a hitchhiker event where they followed him home. And that's when he started believing. And then he met me, he tested me and make sure I was real. And he got all excited. He's like, all right, we have so many things to try now. But he does. He believes in it. He has other government friends that believe in it. He's not allowed to tell me too much stuff, but he's experienced one on a submarine before. He talks about that publicly also. And a lot of people are saying that in a few years, something major is going to happen. And that's why they're slowly feeding us stuff, because they wouldn't normally do this unless something was going to happen, in my opinion. So I think they're getting us ready. Somebody said 7 years, around that time, 5, 7 years, there's something's going to happen. Maybe a different type is coming that they can't control and will show everybody, or there's weather stuff nobody really knows, but it's supposed to be big. So
Well, even the Vatican right now has got some classes teaching some priests how to handle first contact, which I find
wow,
very interesting. Yeah.
I didn't know that at all. That is interesting. I would love to read the things they have there just for like a
I'm
couple.
gonna go. I'm gonna make. Do you have a book out by any chance,
I don't.
Lala? Well,
Mm-mm.
I have a. I'm gonna make a prediction here. There was a reason why, uh, you know, I had you and Annette meet. I'm thinking that there's a book in you, and you'll probably eventually get together with Annette and probably write down these stories, which I think would be fascinating.
Everybody keeps telling me that. I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm that interesting, but they're
Let's
like,
talk about the scary stuff. I think scary is what you find scary. I mean, you may be seeing ghosts or having encounters with extraterrestrials and you're just not into it. So that's scary enough, but they
sure,
may not mean any harm. Like the theory now about the fire and you mentioned movies. The theory now about the fire in the sky
right,
story was that they accidentally zapped him by accident and they picked him up to revive him and keep him from dying and then they dropped
right.
him off somewhere. But then there's some really very like there's movies that are loosely based on real events like Dark Skies,
Mhm,
The Fourth Kind,
mhm,
that are very frightening. Communion even with Christopher Walken, which
mhm,
rocked.
mhm.
Um, but I get a lot of people reaching out to me now with who've had violent encounters in the middle of the night.
Sure,
So some of them say the aliens are, visiting me. Some think that there's some type of interdimensional being, and that they are traveling from other worlds, and they are essentially interdimensional traveling.
right,
But people throw out incubus, succubus,
right,
demonic or extraterrestrials. Some of these visitations are very sexual. Some of them, the people actually get transported to other galaxies and other worlds and are showing things. Um,
But what's interesting too is like um with a lot of people there's a distinction made where well this would be aliens but like incubus succubus that's demons, orbs and stuff that's ghosts, and
mhm,
it doesn't all kind of get mixed together in one pot and thought of in a similar way but always in very separate distinct categories.
right,
And another thing that's interesting is that um I've written down a lot of my stories, and some of the things that happened with me that people thought were terrifying, I was not as scared as a different story that seemed short and not as scary because all of these experiences kind of have an emotion that come with it, and
right,
you can feel when something is malevolent or
mhm,
if something is just sort of there.
right,
So too, that's kind of interesting because there's people that are like wow that was so scary, and one of the little stories that I told was scarier to me than all of them,
mhm,
and it didn't seem like a very big deal reading it, but to me when I was there in the moment just
right.
trying to comprehend what was happening, and should I do this or do that, or should I just run and stay on the front porch until somebody else comes home,
Right. I'd
which
run.
is
Me.
what I did. Eventually, I was like, yeah, that's enough of this. Just gonna go on the porch. The porch is nice.
Yeah.
Porches are good.
I, from experience, well, first of all, it's hard to tell the difference because they are all linked together in a way, right? They might be different, but they're all linked. Um, but with spirits, they're very emotional. Sometimes you feel angry and don't know why, or happy, and but with aliens, it's very business. It's not very emotional at all, and your more almost stuck or numb. I think with ghosts, people run real quick, right? But with aliens, you kind of stay and look. And I think they have something to do with that. Demons, I've had one experience that might have been a demon or just a lost soul, but that was very like objects were being thrown or boxes were put on top of each other, so I couldn't leave the room, the doorway. Um, they're very forward about their intentions. After I think they trick you for a while. Well, you know, in my opinion, they trick you for a while, and then after a while they come out. You know, but spirits always stay. They don't really turn vicious. They just kind of stay who they are. That's just my experience. But again, it's hard to tell really because you can't really see them. It's just a feeling, you know. Not you can see them sometimes, but
There's people that think all of it is demonic.
I
It's
know.
kind of hard to sort through, and I think you have to use your discernment and your intuition, and that ties in a lot with the emotions that you're experiencing while it's happening.
Yeah,
If you feel like it's threatening, if it's not threatening, because we're really just 1 foot in the 3D and 1 foot in the spirit world.
right.
Everybody that's kind of a little bit sensitive or whatever you might want to call it. So, and there's some people that think that all of the aliens are demonic. Some people think there's a whole different kind of, just a whole different species with different kinds in it. And then some people think they're from another planet. Some people think they're from another dimension. Some people even think they're from another time and they're time travelers.
Right. And I know I'm respectful of everybody's opinion because I don't really know the answers. You know, I
Right,
just know what I've experienced.
right.
But I can tell you from what I've heard of government situations that there are different types of aliens. Um, there are types that blend in with us now that have been here. There's some that are hidden that they can't really blend. Like a lot of people think they're reptilians or lizard people that have been here a long time, but they cause a lot of havoc. Every time I hear about, like my boyfriend talk about situations he talks with his friends about, they're very they do something called a hybridization. So they kind of affect women in a different way a lot, in a negative way. Then he's got a friend that was healed by um, aliens the night. I don't know what they are, but she literally had surgery done on her and she didn't know. And when she went to the hospital, the doctor's like, "Did you have this done?" She said, "No, I didn't," but she did know she was abducted. And so they do heal people, so they're not all bad. That's why I don't think they're all demonic. I don't have the answers, so I just listen because I have other priest friends that do believe that they're all demonic, and that's fine, you know.
Well, in the short time I have left before we have to say goodbye, there's some important things that people want to know about. Talk to us about. I want to know. I found it. I got a chuckle when I was reading your bio and I saw the term future ghost. So you'll have to explain to us what you mean by that. But I don't know. People want to know about your show.
Okay.
Um, and I know why because I tried to find Enchanted Insights, I believe it's called. I
Mm-hmm.
tried to find a page for it or a YouTube channel for it. Then I found that it was being hosted on another channel. So I
Yeah.
think that's what some of your fans and followers that maybe haven't seen the show got confused. So talk about first the future ghost and then tell everybody about how your show and how they can watch it and when's it going to be on next. And you're planning a big roundtable show too.
Yes, I like humor. I'm very dorky, so I in my brain that was really funny to say future ghost because I will be eventually. But I just
Yeah.
thought it was funny. I do shows roundtables every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on my friend's channel. It's Grizzly. His name's Grizzly Chris on Facebook. And his channel is Grizzly on the Hunt. And he is a retired police officer that accidentally fell into this paranormal cryptid alien world. He didn't believe in it at first. He also does well the roundtables. I have ADD really bad, so roundtables help me concentrate kind of.
Lala, does that mean that he got married too? Because that's how I kind of accidentally fell into the paranormal thing. Is I got married.
He got divorced and fell into it.
Ah, well,
Kind of.
yeah, I've fallen into a lot of things after divorces.
But yeah, so I've had Steve Bassett on, Deb Cobble, tons of really awesome people. James Keenan from Discovery's been on. It's amazing. There's a part of me that's like, I can't believe they said yes, because I feel like I'm a nobody, but they say yes, and I have a great time with them. So to me, they're amazing, and I'm just this dork that talks to spirits. But my friend Chris, he does a cold case every 2 Fridays, every bi-monthly, and he has a group of psychics and remote viewers that get together. We get a photo of a victim, sometimes children, which I hate. It's so sad. But anyway, we get together, and on camera, we'll say what we got, the information, and he gives that information to his police friends and see if we can help. And even Angela Ford is on there sometimes, and she still works with the government as a remote viewer. She is amazing. She's in her mid to late 60s, and she's still under security clearance, I believe. So I love listening to her experiences and everything. But it's fun. We just try to help out every day. He does something different on his show. So
That's very cool. Where did Shawn go?
he disappeared.
He disappeared. Oh, there he is.
I wanted to be on your show so bad that one night, but right when you have on Wednesday night when your show is live, I've got night prayer, and usually
Sure.
on Wednesdays also Bible study. So it just the timing didn't
That's
match
okay.
up. But I wanted to be on your show really bad, and I'm gonna have.
Um,
Did you have fun? Will you come back?
Absolutely. Yes. I love you guys. This is so nice.
Annette, did you want to ask her anything before we kick her out of here? Rudely kick her out of here?
We're gonna kick her out of here, huh? I thought that she was so fascinating that we could do like 2 or 3 shows
Oh yeah,
just
absolutely.
talking to her, absolutely, to really dig into it, because today we're just scratching the surface, really. 'Cause
Thank
there's a lot there, and you're just very pretty, very smart, and
Thank you.
really enjoyed having you for a guest. Very nice.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Absolutely. I will reach out to you with some. I'm always booked about 3 months in advance. I'll reach out to you with some dates, and then just keep reaching out to me with dates because you never know. We have a
Sure.
cancellation on Bible study one Wednesday, or
You
if
can go
I
on the show, and I'll show up and pray for you.
there you go.
Sounds
Lala, I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful remainder of your Friday evening.
Thank you.
And a beautiful weekend.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
You too.
Tell your boyfriend. Um, Good job. Thank you for your service. I love all of that sort of stuff. We have something in common. We'll talk about that next time you're on. I was in the Navy too. If he was on a sub, I was on a guided missile cruiser for quite some time when I was in the Navy, and I saw a lot of crazy things. I was
Oh,
in communications or in the Radio Shack. I was a radio man, and so you saw many things and messages or visually that you knew you couldn't even talk about, or you might even get tossed overboard.
right. Right.
There's a lot of people that talk about seeing UFOs coming up out of the water.
Yeah.
His name is Bob McGuire on Facebook. I mean, he would love to talk to you guys, honestly.
Nice. That would
Very
be
cool.
great.
Yeah.
Well, listen, don't be a stranger. I know you won't be. I love you. I respect you. Have a great evening, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
All right,
Lala. Nice to meet you.
bye bye. And Annette Munich.
Here I
Anything you
am.
want to tell all your fans and followers and friends before I rudely kick you out of here, too?
Uh, no, I don't think so. I let everybody know that your book and Ira's book is on Amazon, and also they could get your book, I know, from your website, but we do have Kindle. People like Kindles, easily found on Amazon, and Shawn's books are really interesting stories. When you read the stories, it's just kind of mind blowing. It's outside the box of anything that you might expect. You never know what's coming in a Shawn story. You cannot predict what's about to happen in a Shawn story. And Ira's book is just very wonderful and eye opening, and she reveals Luciferian methods and agendas, and how she went from being an occultist to a Christian. So beautiful,
I
beautiful
can't
book.
wait to be able to crack that. And anybody watching the show, if you think you have a book in you, but you don't know what to do next, reach out to Annette Munich, Stellium Books, Stellium Publications. Talk to her about your idea, and she'll let you know if there's a book there, and she'll help you with it, or if go back to your day job. There's not much there. She'll let you know. She'll hit you
Don't
right
quit your
between the
day
eyes.
job. Don't quit your day job. Yeah, and I've had people that their writing wasn't fantastic, but their story was, and they're great storytellers. And well, conversely, I've had people that their story wasn't so great, but they wrote it wonderfully.
There you go.
I shouldn't say that.
No, it's okay.
I'll be
It's
quiet
okay.
now. I'll be quiet
You're
now.
very. That's why everybody loves you. You're very honest,
No.
and that's you. So that's why I love you too. I love you and respect you. You know that, or you wouldn't be here with me on Fridays. But have a great. I'm always here for you. Have a great remainder to your Friday evening and your weekend. You need to talk, or a shoulder to cry on, or an ear to chew on. You know where to find me. And I guess next
I
week I'll see
appreciate
you.
you.
Who's going to be here next week? I don't have my. Where's my calendar? My calendar next week we have. Oh, you know her. Angela Bolee is going to be here
Oh,
next
beautiful.
Friday on the 26th. So
Ooh,
that's going to
some
be.
of her paintings are so scary.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I've already.
Oh,
She sent me a bunch of them, new ones that I'm gonna send to Zach. So as she talks about them, he can put them up on screen. So
nice.
I'll see you
Beautiful.
next Friday.
Okay, we'll see you next Friday.
Take care, Annette. Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay.
I've been telling you forever that eventually I'm going to take you off the show. I didn't mean to actually
Got a
do it.
little. You got a little ghost behind you there peeking in.
Yeah, right. I mean, look at that. These things just pop up all over in this old
These.
house of mine.
Annette was talking about that child ghost, and she showed up in your house there.
Yeah, right there. That's it. I don't know if it's ghost, demon, or poltergeist. No,
She,
cat.
yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in because I don't have a show without you guys. So God bless you all for that. Um, help a seminarian become a priest. I'm supposed to go to a retreat, St. Patrick's Day weekend, March 14th through the 17th, to be ordained to the priesthood. Me and Deacon Bill Payne and Deacon Mark Warren, we're all having financial difficulties getting to this retreat. So if you'd like to donate to any of our causes to help us get there, you can do that at the usocc.org website, or the bishopjameslong.com website. And any help that you can give us would be greatly appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. Um, we have night prayer every weeknight, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific. We have Bible study every Wednesday afternoon and Sunday afternoon at 5 p.m. Pacific. And we have a Facebook page, United States Old Catholic Church Clergy and Parishioners. If you're looking for a church community, there's no judgment. We accept everyone. Join the page. Father Tommy broadcasts his live Catholic masses there every weekday. So it's just a great thing. So that's the church I belong to. If you're interested, all the links to all that stuff are there. Thank you to Zach and Adrian Clayton, my co-producers. I couldn't do the show without them. I'll be here next Friday live on the 26th with psychic portrait artist Angela Bolee. You all know her. You all love her. That's going to be a great show. Check out Zach's website, communitypayitforward.us. Communitypayitforward.us. Eli Roth presents the Legion of Exorcists. You can get it free now if you've got cable, Cox cable, or any cable provider, I believe. Just Travel Channel on demand. If you get on demand, you can watch it for free now on Travel on demand. You can buy the whole season. Amazon Prime Video. You can stream it, still streaming on Discovery Plus and Max. We don't know if there's going to be a season 2. It hasn't been canceled yet, but we haven't been greenlit for a season 2 yet. You can go to the Travel Channel website and voice your opinion if you love the show and you want to see a season 2. You can find me now on Facebook as Lawrence Morais, which is a stage name. The profile says Lawrence Morais, Shawn Patrick Whittington. My original profile got zapped by a hacker and disappeared. So that's where you can find me now on Facebook under Lawrence Morais. Thank you to the Parapost Network Central. Thank you to Things Network. Thank you to Pact, little P, capital ACT, Podcasting for All Coming Together channel, Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment, and Spirit Alabama. All of those networks. Thank you for simulcasting my show. God bless you for that. And now it is bad joke time. I'm going to put a bad joke that one of you sent in out of this haunted carnival barker hat. It's my poor attempt to put a smile on everybody's face before I say goodnight. So here we go. What did a pirate wear in the 80s? A peg warmer. Good night, Danny. Good night, Jack. Good night, dog. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. I love you all. God bless you all in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Peace.